Everything started with this anonymous envelope. Inside, we discovered this USB key, which contains hundreds of thousands of confidential documents from an offshore law firm named Conyers in the tiny Indian Ocean nation of Mauritius. Mauritius is considered the gateway to Africa and to Asia. This ICIJ investigation reveals in detail how corporations around the world have cherry-picked this small island nation in the middle of the Indian Ocean to slash their taxes. What this often means is that some of the world's poorest countries are deprived of much-needed revenue.
So you have countries caught up in the trap of poverty, and that is less services for the ordinary person. Why aren't the people who are making a lot of the money in the country not paying their fair share of the tax?
We wanted to know how that happens, and documents alone can't tell the full story. So we put together a team of reporters and went to the heart of the action. For our first meeting, we met in Nairobi, Kenya, and within hours, reporters had found their first leads.
We must make poverty history.
We found that rock star Bob Geldof, who's built his image around fighting poverty in Africa, had invested through a fund in Mauritius into African companies, including a chicken farm in Uganda, one of the countries with the highest levels of extreme poverty. In Kenya, we found that one of the airline companies used by the United Nations to fly life-saving food, equipment and personnel into active war zones had been routing lease payments through Mauritius for years. And in Oman and other countries, we found an American billionaire who promotes his luxury sustainable hotel business, who has also been routing payments through Mauritius. And the list continues. These are just a few examples of what we found.
Mauritius is a bit the Luxembourg of Africa. They've specialized as a gateway to Africa. Mauritius allows corporations to keep money in Mauritius without paying much tax, but it also allows you, through the tax treaty network, to transfer money in and out of Africa without incurring much tax. The global tax rules have not been negotiated by all countries. So right now we have a small club of countries that have designed the system that we have.
And for years, those rich countries have been telling poorer countries to go along with that system.
If I go to a restaurant and I see a tasteful sandwich at a reasonable price, I would buy it, and I wouldn't complain about the fact that I wasn't involved in the kitchen in preparing that sandwich.
The main reason for double tax agreement is to ensure that companies are not being taxed twice. But largely what they end up achieving is double non-taxation.
Right now, we're in an important moment because more and more countries in Africa and Asia are realizing they need to speak up to stop tax abuse.
There's a lot of responsibility that rests with our own governments. And that also makes it even more imperative to be able to put the pressure on our governments to be able to ensure that while we are calling out on Mauritius to do the right thing, we are doing also the right thing.
This is a question of money, it's a question of development, it's a question of equality.